Hi, it's Anne. Thanks for stopping by. We are going to make today a journal tag that's also a little booklet. And I love things that are two things at once. We can all be many things at once, can't we? And what kind of inspired me today was I found this magazine page with these blooming crab apples. It is spring here in the United States. We have lots and lots and lots of wonderful blooming trees here in the Pacific Northwest. And maybe in your part of the world, your part of the country as well. These are crab apples. What is really blooming for us right now are the cherry trees. Oh my gosh, the cherry blossoms are so beautiful here in Portland. And but I didn't have any photos of cherry trees, but I ran across this gorgeous pink crabapple magazine page. I thought, let's just do something with that. And then this idea occurred to me to make a little booklet that was also a tag, or a tag that's also a booklet. Which comes first? We don't know. I decided I wanted to use a piece of manila file folder. So I cut this down. I really love repurposing file folders because a lot of times they get tatty up along the edges where you do the marking, but those folds are generally in pretty good shape even if they've been used a while. It doesn't matter what size you cut. This is 4 by 6.5 because that seemed to be a good size to go into a journal. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some collaging on here. We're going to use pieces of this crabapple photo. And then we're going to fill it and we'll top it and we'll have a lovely little piece for a journal. So let me bring in something that I can glue on here. And we'll just get started. Golly, I hate to, I thought about just using the whole page by itself. It's a little intense. But maybe I will start with collaging, maybe just using this pink on, maybe that'll be on the back of this piece. Maybe I will do that first. And then I'll have plenty left over to do a torn collage on the front. Now I'm going to be covering up part of it, but I'm not going to worry about that. Yes, I think I'm going to tear off part of this corner, and I want to use as much of this beautiful pink magazine layout as I can. Do look at magazines. You know, there's often a little bit of a shine, and we tend to not like shine too much on our junk journal pages, but it's generally there's going to be a fair amount of utility in the pages that we choose to use. Do I have a pencil? Yes. Thought I would film this afternoon, Dan, and I'm actually kind of exhausted. We've been out we're having a beautiful spring day today, so it's wonderful to know that this lovely new spring weather is translating into good times outside in the garden. And we had some, let's see, move to a different line there on my grid map. We had a few outside projects to do. Mine was, as always, pulling weeds. That bitter cress that is not my favorite garden plant. But it's good to get out and get my hands dirty and pull those weeds. They come up fairly easily. One of my viewers, Laurel, who lives across the river from me here, pointed out that some people do enjoy eating bitter cress, and she is absolutely right. I am not one of those people, but anybody who wishes, that actually looks kind of nice by itself, doesn't it? Maybe I will set that aside, because this could, that could also almost be a cover piece. I do want a collage though, so let me just go ahead and rip some of these other pieces to bits. there's sort of a grid here because there's an inset of one photo inside another one. So I think I want this collage to be a little on the symmetrical side. Not symmetrical per se, but a few right angles and rectangles rather than scattershot tearing like I often do with collage. Anyway, so yes, no eating of the bittercress for me, but I have a compost bin that's filled with those critters, those pesky plants right now, so that's good. And we have a brand new rail. I wanted a safety rail. On the front of our house, there's 2 little sets of steps, just like 4 steps each. And the one that's up close to the house, there's a built-in rail there, but the one that's closer to the sidewalk, it's just the steps. And it never occurred to me until fairly recently, it'd be nice to have a rail down by that lower set of steps. And, you know, as the years go by, you know, that's not the entrance we tend to use with our house, but as the years go by, I'm more and more appreciative of railings on stairways. And as the years go by, I have friends that are more appreciative of those railings as well. So, let's see, I think I might want to, do I want to put some of this in? Let me just tear a few dictionary pages, and I think I want a little bit of music too, and then we'll put these together. Anyway, I think it was at Christmas time, Christmas Eve, when some friends were over, and it occurred to me, you know, we've got that front area, those steps going down to the street, where people could have a bit of a struggle going up and down those. And anyway, suffice to say that as of today, as of this moment, we now have a beautifully installed railing there, so people can come up and down those 4 steps with confidence. Dan did all the installation himself. I went out occasionally and, you know, balanced things for him, but it was a good project because it involved borrowing a tool from a neighbor. Our friends Joe and Cheryl were running errands also on this beautiful day, and Joe is a great handyman and came over. You know, what you doing? Do you have a hand? What did he? It was a hammer. What did he recommend? A hammer drill? He called it a hammer drill. It was some sort of a drill that has the the bit in it, but it also had like a handle on it, rather than just like the kind that you hold like a regular power drill. There was an actual hammer, and Joe, being a very helpful and generous guy, happily brought his hammer drill over. Dan was just going to use his regular one, but Joe let us know, no, you probably want the hammer drill there. I love it when neighborhood dudes get together and plan their projects. Where was the music I wanted to use? I had one of my books that was smaller. It was smaller and it was smaller. One ought to do it. I know I have some of these in my scrap bin, but I didn't want to go sorting through all of that right now. I have so much music paper and dictionary paper. I thought, let's just kind of start fresh. And that way the scraps that are part of this little collage can be sort of consistent with one another. Anyway, Dan has recovered from his very strenuous project. It was the first vigorous outdoor project of the season, and it was nice to visit with our neighbors. They were over on Christmas Eve too, and I don't know that we've really sat and chatted with them that much since Christmas Eve until today. So it was good to see them, and it's wonderful to have the sort of neighbors that, you know, you see them coming and you're just always glad. Always glad because, you know, if you're doing a project, they're there to help you. They don't meddle with anything, but if they see that you're doing something that, you know, that they have also done, they might have a tip or two. We really enjoy Joe and Cheryl. I think I'm going to tear this down and then I'm going to get to collaging, because I could be jibber-jabbering at you all day and we wouldn't get anything done. That wouldn't be good. I have enough scraps to do a huge collage. I might end up doing more. Almost done with this glue stick. And this, yes, this is the front. You know, I don't know why the idea of a little collage just seemed appropriate to me today. We just follow our instincts sometimes, don't we? Yeah, what a day. Got a lot of weeding done. Chatted with neighbors. Was an extra pair of hands for Dan and getting that railing installed. The railing itself, he was having some trouble with the bolts or something to, you know, get it sunk down and attached down into the concrete. And I came in to wash some dishes or do a few things, and I didn't hear anything going on outside, and I peeked out, and bless his heart, he was sitting on the front porch looking at his phone. I thought, what is he doing out there? And turns out he was looking at YouTube. He looked up you know, some details about drilling holes in concrete, and it was very helpful. There we go. Got all of the I tore all of these squares, and I'm going to use just a few of them. But isn't that how collage works? It is. There we go. And let's bring in some more of this pink. Ooh, this can go all the way across the bottom. That is nice. That is super nice. I think this magazine was the Nature Conservancy, or nature.org from the Nature Conservancy. I'm sure I picked it up at the thrift store. It doesn't happen to be it's a wonderful magazine. It doesn't happen to be one that we have a subscription to, although I enjoy it very much. It's a very good environmental types of coverage, as you would expect. I have some scissors. These will do. There we go. So that's the outside of our little booklet. And then I was thinking the back, I would just put that whole thing down. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll do the inside. As I film this, it's spring break here in Portland. And I'm filming ahead because Dan and I are going to be on vacation soon ourselves. We are going to Tennessee to see the lovely Connie and the wonderful Bill. And we are so excited. We haven't seen them in 2 years, and a lot has happened in 2 years, and we are just really, really excited to see our good friends, celebrate them, and just be with them. So we're going to have 4 or 5 days there in Knoxville. So I'm filming ahead. Okay, here is the outside of our little booklet. I do think I want to line the inside as well, but I'm not going to make a lot of hash out of that. I think I'm just going to tear off some of this paper. Maybe it would be better to go like this. Save the bigger chunk. Yeah, this is some sort of copy paper, but it has, I got it at the thrift store. You know, you keep your eyes open and you can find these packs of just interesting papers that other people have crafted with and have decided to pass along for whatever reason. But this paper, isn't it pretty? Yeah, it looks like it's one of those handmade papers that has the little dried flowers in it. It's not. It's just an image that's printed on there. But it has that look. So I forget about it because it's pretty white on the other side, although it would be easy to coffee dye. But with this, I'm just going to cover the back or the inside. Of this little booklet. It's the type of thing I could let, I could just use that by itself because it's not unattractive, but heavens, we get things dressed up, don't we? Yes, we do. Let's bring this in and get our gluing done. I could put some pockets on the inside, but I think I maybe won't do that. You can see my glue stick, I'm down to the last stub. I'm down to that little stump here. If my friend Julie Torrance is watching, this is for you, my friend, because Julie had a discussion on her channel quite some time ago about when she prefers not to save that last little stump of glue. And that just falls into the life's too short category for her. And I so respect that. Hats off to you, girlfriend, for knowing what you're going to save and knowing what you aren't. For some reason, I don't know why, I dig out the stumps. I am a stump digger outer. And I just keep this little tool handy and I spread it like it's my morning jam. And is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. But for some reason, I probably will always do this. However, this is such a personal choice. I would never, ever say to anybody that they should or should not do this. Because there's some things I throw away, too. I'll tell you what I throw away. I throw away when I'm collaging with napkins. And, you know, you separate the white layers from the printed layers of the napkins. I throw away that white stuff. And there's people that do beautiful crafts with those little wispy extra layers of napkins. And there's, if you get a really high quality napkin that has 3 layers, you know, the printed colorful decorative layer and 2 white layers. There's 1 layer that tends to have a little bit of color on it, and they call that ghost printing, I think. And do I save those? I don't. People do, and hats off to them. But that falls into the life's too short category for me, is saving those little white things. Again, please do you. This is the type of thing, just like, I know my friend Julie does not judge me for being a stump digger outer. I have confessed this to her before, so she's not watching this this video being shocked at this revelation from Anne. But anyway, I I use the last stump of glue and I carelessly and callously throw away those extra layers of napkin if I'm crafting with them. And I'm not going to change that. I make no apologies. It's just something I'm going to continue to throw away. Now, if I have them wadded up and I have, you know, I spill some water, I'll mop them up. But I don't save them. I don't craft with them. I absolutely endorse, and I would protect until the end your right to use those if you wish to. Now, I have an old t-shirt here. If I had some old extra ghost layers of napkins, I could mop up the extra schmutz that I have sitting around here with them. But no, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Do you have anything that you boldly throw away? Let me know. This is a safe space. You know, I use most things, but it's just not going to happen with those wispy. And I've seen, you know, those ghost prints. I mean, people do some beautiful crafts from that. You know, they're very subtle and such. But we all know our boundaries, don't we? All right. Here is our little booklet. But because I want to make it a tag, I think I might use this. I might just put this here, and then this can be a writing space. How about that? And then we'll add the inside stuff. You know, speaking of it being a tag, I think I'm going to cut the tag shape first. I think I'm going to do that because I want the whole thing to be taggy. And use my little template here. I lost it the other day. Oh, I have to cut out Joseph. I'm sorry about that. My brother's name is Joseph. And my next door neighbor's name is Joseph, clearly. Yes. Okay, now. Yes. All right, I'm just going to put this here, and we can use, and I know I'm covering up part of these crab apples, but I do want this to identify as a tag. And this little faux handmade paper will be good. There's a pleasant pattern on it by itself, but it's easy to write on. Okay, how's my situation here? Oh, but I still have some glue I can dig out. I think this is the first time I've done my stump digging out on camera. Usually if I see I'm getting low on glue, I'll switch to a new tube of it, and I'll do the digging out in the privacy of my own craft room. But do you know what? I just think we need to be proud and own our crafting peccadillos. How about that? You know I'm kidding with all of this. It's not that big of a deal either way, but okay, there we have a journaling spot on the back of this tag. Let's fill it, and we'll think about what we want to have as a focal point. I did get out a few pieces of paper. I have those. There's my needle. Okay, more to be dug out there, but that'll be something else I can do later. Now that I've been so candid with you about all of that, I think these will suit. For something like this one, I've done little booklets like this before. They're almost like mini journals, but I don't want them to be too thick. And I wanted, yeah, I wanted this to come in underneath that, that point where that notch starts. But of course, I'm going to trim it down just a little bit more because I don't want it to come too close to that. That white is a little bright, so why don't we put that on the inside? And we have 3 sheets, which means we have 12 pages of writing space. I feel like you've been watching me do the pamphlet stitch in every video lately. You're gonna say, Anne, you're boring us. Tools, there we go. But I'll make as short work of this as I can. The 3-hole pamphlet stitch will do nicely for us today on this beautiful spring day. You know, you just, I mean, there's clearly lots and lots and lots of things we are concerned about, and people and our friends have there's no lack of trouble facing folks today, and we are aware of that. Help wherever we can. We also need to remember that there's a lot of joy as well. And we have to celebrate those joyful things. This is like it's burnt or something like that. This is a wax thread, and it just came off the spool looking like that. It looks a little gross, but you know, it's, well, I guess I've taken off most of that kind of grungy part, but we'll just add this. We'll just add this to the grunge. That'll just be part of we'll accept that as part of the loveliness. Now, what I had in mind here was to have a pull on the top here. How was I going to do that? I think I was going to do it by punching. Yeah, that in my mind, this worked. So I'm going to punch like half a circle or a little, you know, motioning towards half a circle in that top, on that top edge, because since I made this, our pages, our little signature came down below that angle on the top of the tag. I'm going to have the space to do that. Let's see how well this works. Let me sort of mark the middle here. I think that'll do. I usually mark the middle here for punching a hole, but I'm not going to punch a hole this time. I'm going to use my big hole punch. You could just staple some ribbon. You could, you know, do this any number of different ways, but this is just how I thought that I would do it. And I'm going to come down to that little mark and punch, and then I'm going to glue a little circle here on the back using this, cutting out this that circle with the same punch. It might be nice to use some of this. Good, yes, that'll fit. And I have a patch or a little extra bit of this. Yes, I'm going to glue down my little scrap. my crabapple image. Put that there. And I think because I want this to be double-sided, I'm going to use up these other little bits of the crabapple so that we'll have that beautiful pink on both sides. And it's going to be patched. Is it going to matter? It is not. It is not going to matter. We're going to celebrate all that these little crabapple images have to give us. There we go. So we have one layer of this manila folder, and I have that crabapple image on both sides. I want this to dry for just a few minutes. So let's set that aside and let's think about the front. Whoa, Anne, got sticky bits everywhere. Let's think about the front. And you know, I was thinking it might be nice to have a little piece of lace around the side here. I don't know how that would work, but here's kind of a, let's see how something like that would work. To kind of glue it around there. I don't know. What do you think? I wish you were right here. I like that, but I almost feel like I would need to stitch it down on the sewing machine, which I could do. I think I'm going to leave it off for now. That could be something that I add later. Okay, let's think about what we want to put on the front. I did give this some thought ahead of time, and I was thinking something like this. I need to ink the edges. This is one of the painted, I called them painted frames, and then I realized that Gail Augustinelli, who inspired my project to do this the other day, called them painted stamped labels. They are both of those things. I made so many of them. Oh my gosh, you know, I put most of them away, and then I just sat and made more. I just had so much fun making them. And they're so pretty. So I thought I wanted to use these. I had this one with a butterfly and the kind of sky blue acrylic paint. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I do. I was thinking about adding some words here too. I got this out of a, I don't know, a child's book, a falling apart library book. And yes, I'm feeling good about that. I think I'm just responding positively, and I'm going to use that. Let's just go ahead and get this little embellishment down and the little bit of music that's in the background there. It might be upside down here, but yeah, yeah, it is upside down. Well, it's just going to stay that way because it's a perfect day. It's a perfect day to count your blessings, that's for sure. I think that's where I'm going with all of that. Count our blessings wherever we see them. There we go. And this is all inked and ready to go. What a perfect day. Yeah, I'll be fine with that. Yeah, I think I might be okay with leaving off that lace. I could always add it in later if I want to, but I just kind of want to have this be just a nice little piece that I can tuck into a journal pocket because it's not going to be very thick. And, you know, I could do a little bit of stenciling. I could put some pockets there if I want to. But I think I'm just going to kind of move towards the finish line here. Let's ink it, because that always makes a big difference, doesn't it? Do I want to round the corners. I think I do. They're not going to round themselves, so I might as well get out my corner rounder and do that front and back. Didn't really chew through all the layers there very well, did it? That's okay. See how we're doing time-wise. Yeah, I need to wrap this up. We're just going to put that pull on the top. And then we can call this little one done. Oh, look at that pink. I'm glad that I didn't have, I'm glad I kind of broke it up with some other images there, but I tend not to do a lot of pink. But you know what, on a beautiful spring day when there's cherry blossoms blooming all over Portland and there's crab apples blooming somewhere, I'm just going to celebrate that pink. Let's come in with our punch. This is an 1 3/4 punch, and grab a little bit of that. And we've got beautiful pink crabapple blossoms on either side. And we're going to be able to put that tag pull right there. The other side. That has the seam in it, but I'm kind of liking that. I am kind of liking that. So I'm going to just put my glue down in that space that's open because I don't want to go too low with it. And extra paper shard there. And that's going to fit perfectly in there. It's nestled on the inside back cover, but it looks like it belongs there, doesn't it? Because it does. Great. I'll put some little pockets and maybe a few little stencils in there, but this is, you know, if I wanted, I have this sitting around, if I wanted something to keep it closed, I could just put a little lacy paper clip here on the side. I hope you're having a perfect day. If it's not perfect, think about the things that make you perfectly happy. And we will see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.